again, this is your reminder to not skip the intro to this show because um, A, it's a really good theme song, but B, I was not expecting them to change up the intro because the intro played a lot later in the episode than previously in the first episode. Um, and they changed it up in a really awesome way. So don't skip out on the intro when it comes around. Hey guys, what's going on? It's Daniel Strong from QuickTime Reactions, and we are back to talk about some more X-Men 97. We are here to talk about Season 2, Episode 2, which is entitled A Force to be Reckoned With. This episode was written by Anthony Saliti. I hope I pronounced that last name correctly. And Mariah Wilson, and the episode was once again directed by Emmett Yanemura. In this episode, we see X-Force try to go on a recruitment mission to try and nab the services of Jubilee and Sunspot. Meanwhile, they are being hunted down by a government-appointed mutant task force known as X Factor, who are basically trying to stop their plans of trying to figure out where Apocalypse's next move might be. So, will they be able to get the information that they need? We'll have to wait and see. So, this episode actually starts out no intro at the beginning, like I said. We follow a group of 4 mutants, basically on the run, essentially, from X Factor. In fact, they are being chased down by Multiple Man, Jamie Madrox. They eventually find their way to the X Mansion, which is, of course, in ruin, and they are caught by X Factor. Now, I did my research while the episode was going on because I wanted to know who the members were. So, I'm going to. This is just me assuming here. But I know, obviously, one because they said the person's a superhero named Polaris, the one with green hair. Then I knew Multiple Man because Multiple Man was featured in, was it X-Men Last Stand? He was featured in. He was featured in one of the Fox movies, which is why I remembered him. Um, Strong guy. That's like the big, I think the big bulky dude. Um, Havoc, who I thought in for my head, I was like Booster Gold, but Booster Gold is DC. I'm mixing up my things. So Havoc, and then Wolfsbane as the last one, and they were all brought together by Val Cooper as basically a task force for both humans and mutants. So they end up getting the group that they were chasing after. Meanwhile, Jubilee and Roberto are in an arcade just kind of wasting away. And that's when Cable comes up to them and wants their services in hunting down one of Apocalypse's horsemen, War, which then leads into the intro for this episode, which was an X-Force intro. It even ended off with X-Force 97, which I thought was a really cool touch. Seriously, watch the intro for this episode. It's awesome. They end up going to Rio, where they are able to spot War and take him down. Excuse me. Psylocke tries to get as much information out as she can, but there's basically a wall in his brain, like basically a diamond wall that's basically blocking off the information that they need. And so, since he's no longer of use, they're just going to decide to kill him off. But Jubilee is a bit opposed by this. It's like, well, why can't we just turn him over to like the federal authorities? And Archangel very rightly says he's one of Apocalypse's horsemen. If he gets free, who knows what is going to come our way? And that is 100% probably speaking from experience, because like I said, Angel was a regular X-Man. He got turned into Archangel, one of Apocalypse's horsemen, saved by Rogue, which he even says in this episode, like, yeah, Rogue saved me. Or Jubilee brought up the prospect of like, well, what if we can save him? Like, Archangel, you were saved from Apocalypse, and Archangel's like, yeah, by Rogue, but she's gone. So it's like that option's not even on the table. And so they kill off War, and Jubilee knows exactly where to find a person that is capable of, creating diamonds everywhere. And this is where we end up meeting Miss Emma Frost. And so they question Frost for some information. She's a bit reluctant to give it away, but eventually she does for, a fair price. They get to a what is ostensibly Apocalypse slash Horseman lair, where all of the tech is basically just gone, and come to find out that it was indeed a trap set by Emma Frost. She had contacted X Factor to basically come and take care of X Force. X Force are able to get away. However, Jubilee is captured. And so she's brought in for questioning. Jubilee is like, look, I'm not saying a thing. You might as well bring in a telepath in here to try and get the information that you need from me, because I'm not saying a word. And she and, oh my god, why have I blanked on one of the name? It's the woman's name. Oh my god. Oh my god. Polaris. Jesus. Um, yes, I'm leaving that all in because, basically looking it up on the fly on my phone. Her and Polaris have a bit of a chat, but she's eventually escorted to a holding cell in which she sees a whole swathe of mutants in power dampening collars in cells. Um, Meanwhile, Roberto is trying to sway Cable into going back for Jubilee. He's a bit, hard-headed about it and is a bit stubborn about it. But Jubilee is able to escape with a little bit of help from, and again, it has slipped my mind, Polaris. Remember that. Polaris took out the security cams and is like, that should, buy you 5 minutes. What you do with those 5 minutes, that's up to you. And she by Jubilee, I mean, basically goes and kicks all sorts of butt, from the guards to freeing all of the mutants, able to get into contact with X-Force, and basically they're able to go in, take care of the goons, rescue all of the mutants that were on the X-Factor transport ship. But before Jubilee escapes, Havoc and Val actually stop her, and Havoc's like, hey, you have a simple choice here. You either stay with us or, you jump. And Jubilee's like, well, I'm gonna head on out of here, parachute or not, and jumps off the side of the ship. Of course, Roberto catches her, um, and Polaris, of course, walks up and is like, "Wait, how did Jubilee escape?" And Val, of course, looks at her and is like, "Yeah, I wonder how she was able to escape." And Val, of course, gives a message saying, we're going to hunt down X Factor, or not X Factor, X Force, and make sure that they are prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. Um, and some of the other members of X Force are like, why do we have all these kids on here? It's like when Cable says to himself, might have said to the others in the group, it's like, kids can actually be tougher than they think. And we cut back to where episode 1 ended off, with young Nathan getting in control of ship. He gets the much larger robotic arm, and he gets a computer cube that is able to communicate with him. And that computer cube is basically telling him, hey, you need to send the X-Men back to their time right now. But of course, young Nathan's like, well, why can't I have a little bit more time with my parents? And Mother Ascani and the computer cube say, hey, Apocalypse's defeat here is only the start. If you don't send them back, things could be completely ruined. And so rather reluctantly, young Nathan ends up sending all of the X-Men back to their proper time. And that is where this episode ends off. Um, I really liked this episode. I really liked the change of pace. We didn't. We focused on mutants and people that were on the X-Men team, but I really do like that we just focused on X-Force in this episode. I thought that was pretty cool. And of course, me still being new to the X-Men world, learning all these new characters, all these different characters that I have to keep in my memory bank, because you never know when they're gonna pull up another character from the Rolodex of characters. So got to keep that in the old think tank. Um, and so far I've had fun with these 2 episodes. Like I said in my first one, I'm so excited to be back in this world. Oh, another thing that I should mention. Both episodes had news reports in it, with the anchor having like these markings of she was probably one of the Prime Sentinels from Bastion's experiment from season 1, which I thought was a really cool detail. I didn't mention it in my first episode, so I wanted to mention it here at least. Um, I thought that was a really cool detail. But yeah, like I said, I've been enjoying this so far. I'm really excited to see what episode 3 brings, because from the thumbnail on Disney Plus's website, we are going to be going to the past with Magneto, Rogue, and all of them trying to potentially stop En-Sabah Nur. That episode review is going to be coming out tomorrow, because, like I said, 1, I want to get some sleep, and 2, I had a lot of other stuff going on today, which, led to me being very tired. So, you're going to get episode 3 tomorrow, as kind of a nice lead in to a hopefully happy 4th of July weekend, and I hope you guys do have a great 4th of July weekend. But I think that's going to be pretty much it for me on this one, guys. Be safe out there. And, of course, once again, to me, my subscribers, please hit that subscribe button. Thank you very much. And I will catch you guys next time.